Okay. All right. So, hola. Okay. So, yeah, buenas tardes. Me llamo Vanessa. Soy la organizadora con Connecticut Students for a Dream. Yo vengo de New Britain. Y sí, estoy aquí con una miembro de New Haven. Y esta es su primera vez haciendo un rally. So,
Hola, mi nombre es Valentina, soy de New Haven y soy senior at High School. Soy miembro de C4D desde septiembre del 2022 y estoy muy emocionada de estar aquí, espero que todos estén.
Yeah, so, ¿por qué estamos aquí, right? ¿Por qué estamos aquí? Para todos, right? Yeah, porque ¿qué es lo que está pasando ahora, right? Does anyone know what's happening now? No? Yeah, so, whoever's not, updated on what's going on, right? What we want this year is to pass from ages 12 to 26, right? But overall, we want to pass it for everyone, right? But this year, we want to pass it to 26, but what are they doing? ¿Qué es lo que están haciendo? They're saying no, right? Yeah, right? And we know that Connecticut has money, right? We know that Connecticut is one of the richest states in the nation, right? So we're here for HUSKY, right? But before that, do you want to share how you got involved with C4D?
Sí, yo me involucré en C4D desde septiembre del 2022 debido a que carecemos de oportunidades para entrar a la universidad y C4D fue una organización que me abrió las puertas y no solo a mí, las tiene abiertas para todos los inmigrantes indocumentados que necesitan apoyo o información tanto en la universidad o como ahora mismo estamos en lo de la salud.
Yeah, so to summarize what Valentina said, she got involved with C4D through our college access program, right? She wants to get her studies here and she wants to graduate from college here. So that's how she got involved with C4D. And obviously we recognize that there's other things that we have to fight for, like here, the reason why we're here today, right? But yeah, thank you, Valentina. But yeah, again, my name is Vanessa and I got involved with C4D back in 2018 when my dad was about to be deported. And that's where I found my community, right? And since then, it's been history. Ever since then, I've been more political and I'm more involved in my community, and I'm like doing more stuff in New Britain, right? I don't know if y'all know, but New Britain, there's no resources, and our students here see that, right? We're the second to last least funded district in the whole state, so that's also what resonates with me too, right? But yeah, so to get us started today, right, we're gonna have a few speakers who are students, who are doctors, who are teachers, and people from the community. So first, we'll pass it to Christopher, who is a C4D member.
Hello everyone, my name is Christopher Caravana. I'm a Ecuadorian immigrant living in New Haven. I am a member of Connecticut Students for a Dream, a statewide organization that fights for the rights of the communal youth and families. I arrived at this country almost 2 years ago with my family in search for better opportunities. My dream has always been to graduate from a university in the United States and to study finance and continue acquiring knowledge to be able to meet my academic and professional goals. I know that even I have many barriers I will be able to achieve. It signs I'm a very insistent on that. So this campaign interests for me for various reasons. Now then, being that I'm an immigrant and the approval of this legislation will help my family and all the undocumented people who need access to the medical care and go through the same worrying situation. This issue affects me as well because my father does not have access to health insurance to this immigration status, and this is a big concern for me and all my family, especially since he has been experiencing a lot of health problems recently, and this is difficult to see my father struggling to receive the medical care he needs due to the barriers he faces as an immigrant, which further worsens his health conditions. This makes us feel insecure and vulnerable in a situation where we should feel safe and protected. It is important to me all our members of my family have access to the medical care they need, regardless of their immigration status. I wish for my father to receive the appropriate treatment and ease his pain. It's great that they approved this extension to 12 because now the children of our community will have access to the medical care, and it's great relief for everyone. But It would be better if they expand even more for older people, since the fact that being older than 12 does not mean you will never get sick again. I strongly believe that passing this extension is the right step toward a better future for all of us to live better lives. And to make that possible, this year Connecticut legislators and the governor need to ensure that budget has enough money so that all immigrants under the age of 26 can receive access to HUSKY healthcare. And so that next year we can continue to make Connecticut a better place for immigrants and continue expanding healthcare for all immigrants. Access to healthcare should be a human right. Thank you.
Gracias, Christopher. Thank you, Christopher. So after every speaker, we're going to do a chant. I don't know if y'all know this one, the freedom fighter one. So Christopher was a freedom fighter who taught us how to fight. So we gon' fight all day and night until we get it right. What side are you on, my people? What side are you on? What side are you on, my people? What side are you on? All right, let's try that again. Let's do that again. All right, ready? All right, Christopher was a freedom fighter who taught us how to fight. So we gon' fight all day and night until we get it right. What side are you on, my people? What side are you on? What side are you on, my people? What side are you on?
Thank you, Christopher, for sharing. That was very powerful, especially the part where you say that you're never gonna get sick again, and after the 12. So yeah, you want to share something?
Yeah, right. So as you heard, right, Christopher is already 18, right? So he just turned 18, so that means that this law for this year, if it does get passed to 18, it won't benefit him, right? He just graduated from high school and he wants to keep studying, right? So yeah, is that fair? No, right? So yeah, so thank you, Christopher. So yeah, our next speaker will be Dr. Michelle Shanker, who will...
Hola, buenas tardes. Yo soy doctora Michelle Shanker, soy un pediatra in New Haven. My name is Michelle Shanker. I'm a primary care pediatrician in New Haven. I care for children from the day they are born until the day they are ready to effectively transition to adulthood. Childhood does not end at age 12. Hardly a day goes by when I do not meet a family who has just arrived to the United States. When I ask what brought them here, the answers I hear are heartbreaking and inspiring. Safety for my child, education for my child, doctors and medicines for my child. One mother left her country because her son's teachers and doctors did not understand how to support his needs, and she described several instances where this resulted in physical and emotional harm. She begged me to help fill her son's prescriptions, connect him with behavioral health support, and help to advocate for her son's learning needs in his new school environment. Her son is 15 years old. His family paid for this visit out of pocket for a required school physical, but without HUSKY coverage, we will not be able to give him the consistent, high-quality care that someone under 12 with similar needs would have. The high-quality care that his mother came to this country in search of for her son. Adolescence and young adulthood are a critical window for physical, cognitive, and psychosocial development. As a pediatrician, I support the unique needs of my adolescent and young adult patients, including routine vaccinations, confidential screening and counseling regarding harm prevention, navigating physiologic changes of puberty, and developing their aspects of identity, independence, and healthy relationships. Expansion of HUSKY to cover children, adolescents, and young adults up to age 26 will prevent complications of untreated health needs and millions of dollars in unnecessary healthcare spending down the line. This will require only 1% of the Medicaid budget. I urge our Appropriations Committee to demonstrate the incredible impact of this very small investment. It is with urgency that we must look to the young people as the next generation of leaders in our lives and in our communities. We must ensure a stable, thriving, and growing workforce that is ready to meet the needs of our future. I urge Connecticut to lead our country in modeling an America where all of my patients, children, adolescents, and young adults can receive high-quality health care, regardless of their immigration status. Thank you. Gracias.
Dr. Shanker was a
Freedom fighter, she taught us how to fight. So we will fight all day and night until we get it right. What side are you on, my people? What side are you on? What side are you on, my people? What side are you on? We're on the freedom side! Alright, this time a little louder, okay? You ready? Yes or no? You ready?
Yes.
I gotta hear it, I can't hear it. Ready? Yes! Yes, there you go. You wanna start us off on it?
Dr. Shanker was a
Freedom fighters taught us how to fight. So we will fight all day and night until we get it right. What side are you on, my people? What side are you on? What side are you on, my people? What side are you on? Thank you. All right, we're going to do a little chant, all right? But I want the chant to be heard over there because right now we have legislators that thinking that it's okay to leave it till 18, right? And we know that's a progress, but it leaves a lot of people out. So vamos a hacer un chant y lo vamos a hacer muy fuerte porque ahorita hay legisladores que creen que está bien dejar la expansión a 18 para este año, ¿verdad? Nosotros sabemos que esto deja mucha gente, muchos jóvenes afuera, ¿verdad? Y queremos hasta 26 este año para seguir progresando. ¿Es cierto? Entonces, hoy estamos aquí para que nos escuchen nuestras voces afuera, ¿verdad? Pero también luego vamos a entrar para que nos escuchen ¿verdad? Entonces, vamos a hacer un chant. Y Shairi, que es nuestro nuevo member, dale por Shairi. Ella nos va a acompañar con el chant. She's going to lead us in the chant.
Okay, are we ready? All right, when I say healthcare, you say for all. Healthcare.
For all.
Healthcare.
For all.
Healthcare.
For all.
Healthcare.
For all.
Thank you, Shari. Thank you, Jenny. Si tienen otros cánticos, or if you have any other chants, let us know, right? And we can do it as well. Cool. So again, thank you, Dr. Shanker.
So next we have Eva. She's from Rocky Hill High School student. So where is Eva? Hola, buenas tardes a todos. Espero estemos contentos todos. Me presento. Hola a todos. Mi nombre es Eva. Estoy en el grado 10. Tengo 16 años. Soy un líder juvenil con City Estudiantes por un sueño. C4D es una organización estatal que trabaja por los derechos de los jóvenes indocumentados y nuestras familias. He estado involucrada en C4D en momentos que hemos hablado con legisladores. Cuando yo llegué a este país hace 2 o 3 años, a mí me negaron mi matrícula por no tener un físico del doctor. Me dijeron que no tenía que presentar mi físico del doctor. Yo tenía que ir al doctor, pero no tenía seguro médico. Imagínense cuántos niños de esto le ha pasado sin seguro médico. Yo estaba en riesgo de no recibir mi educación, que es la razón por la que estoy aquí. Este proyecto de ley beneficia a la comunidad inmigrante para que estén seguros y vivir sin ningún miedo, para mejorar su salud. Esta ampliación costaría aproximadamente entre 15 y 18.5 millones de dólares y daría cobertura a unos 5,000 jóvenes que actualmente viven en acceso a un seguro médico. Esto supone el 1% de todo el presupuesto del medical del Estado. El precio
pequeño para que el Estado garantice a los jóvenes, a que los jóvenes puedan acceder a tener un seguro. Exigimos que nuestros legisladores estatales de Connecticut inviertan a la salud y el futuro de nuestro estado financiero, una ampliación de HUSKY medical a todos los inmigrantes menores de 26 años con derecho a recibir. Necesitamos que la ampliación de HUSKY se incluya a presupuesto. Gracias.
Thank you, Eva. Eva was a freedom fighter who taught us how to fight. So we gon' fight all day and night until we get it right. What side are you on, my people? What side are you on? What side are you on, my people? What side are you on?
Gracias, Eva, por compartir. Eso suena algo similar a mi experiencia, pero al contrario, yo no tuve dificultades porque en Wilbur Cross High School, que es una comprehensive high school, tenemos muchos recursos para los inmigrantes y me realizaron el físico sin problemas, sin tener que ir al doctor. Es lamentable que ahorita no cuenten con esos recursos porque les estarían negando la educación a varias personas.
Yeah, right? So eso es un problema, right? So that's an issue, because like imagine that, like how many students aren't going to school, right? Because they don't have a physical, right? And we need to get vaccinated to get into schools, right? So thank you again, Eva, for sharing. Let's see. Okay, so our next speaker is, we're going to have Senator Lesser, Senator Slapp, Representative Delaney, and Representative Farrar, if you can join us.
How's everybody doing? You fired up? Ready to go? Take a look at that room over there. We're going to pass about 300 bills in the next 2 months, right on the other side of those windows. And I guarantee you not one of them will outlaw 13-year-olds from getting sick. Not one of them is going to say 14-year-olds are not allowed to get sick in the state of Connecticut. Right? I wish we could do that. It would be great if we could legislate illness right out of Connecticut. But we know that's not possible. So the alternative is we have to ensure that no child in the state of Connecticut, and nobody in the state of Connecticut, is denied health care. Health care is a right. Health care is a need. It's a civil right. And it's cruel and costly. Right? Our current policy in the state of Connecticut is cruel and costly. It's cruel, and this is my message here to parents who are fortunate and blessed enough to have health care for their family and their children. Think about the stress and the fear that you experience when your child is sick.
Say it.
Right? Think about what that feels like. And now, think about the fact that you are blessed enough to have health care. And if you know that things get bad, you can take your loved one, you can take your child to the doctor's office. What would that feel like if you can't do that? And you have to wait hour after hour, day after day, as your child suffers, thinking, when do I have to finally take my child to the hospital and to the emergency room? That is cruel that we put families and children through that. And why do we do that? It's cruel and it's costly. We spend tens of millions of dollars and many more of that over a 2-year budget on what we call uncompensated care. People still pay for that.
Say it.
Right? But we pay for it in the most costly way imaginable by providing care in the emergency room. So we wait, we force people to suffer, and then we pay more on the back end. And we do this to people, by the way, who pay taxes. Right? So why do we do this? It's cruel, it's costly, and we've got to find a better way. You all are pointing us in the right direction. Right? We need to do right by you. We need to do right by your children. We have some great legislators here, brave legislators, wonderful leaders, their hearts in the right place, their minds in the right place, great partners. I'm going to hand it off to one of them right now, Senator Lesser, who has been a champion on this issue. As chair of a very important committee, he helped lead the way and got us, I believe, as much as we possibly could just a year or so ago. And I know he's in this fight until we finally end this cruel and costly policy in the state of Connecticut. Senator Lesser. Thank you, Senator Slapp. Thank you, everybody. There are easy issues and there are hard issues. There are some very tough issues, but this is an easy issue because this is about what is right and what is wrong. And we heard your voices loud and clear in the public hearing just a few months ago. Right? We heard stories of a child with a broken arm not going to the doctor in Connecticut in the year 2023. What kind of a state do we want to be? What kind of a people do we want to be? We want to be a state and a people where everyone gets the health care that they need, where a child in a school in Connecticut, whether it is
That's right.
A kid who was born here or a kid who came here, they are all treated the same. And I am listening and I appreciate the voices of my constituents, folks like Ava from Rocky Hill High School, who talk about their stories, who are our neighbors, who live with my kid, right? We are all at risk unless everyone in this state has health care.
That's right.
And I don't know what's going to happen this next week or the week after, but I know that we have an argument that we have to make. And that is that we're all healthier. Or ask questions about, folks, just remember, we're talking about young people in the state. We're looking about making a contribution, about supporting their families, about all of the hopes and ideas and dreams that they can have. Did everybody hear the news today?
We did.
So there was some news, a little bit a while ago. President Biden made an important announcement. He announced that going forward, we're going to have a new policy in this country where folks who are on the DACA program are now going to be eligible for the first time to, with their own money, purchase health insurance on through the Affordable Care Act, and they're going to be able to be eligible for Medicaid across the country. 590,000 people on the DACA program. Now that's not everybody, and the DACA program has been closed. And the thing that is so important about that is we're now talking about an older group of people being eligible for healthcare coverage, long overdue. But now we have to figure out how to cover folks up until that point. Right? It's a question of the gaps. When we first came forward with this issue, as Senator Slapp mentioned a few years ago, some of our colleagues said, well, it's a good idea, but let's only cover folks up until age 8. And then we said, okay, we don't like it, but we'll start with that. We came back the next year and we said, let's go up to age 12, and then into 18. But we're going to not let up with DACA folks, not let up until 18, but until we can make a commitment to cover all of our neighbors, all of the folks in the state, folks who are in the workplace, paying taxes, living in our communities, going to our schools. We have unfinished work, but I think we're going to make some real progress this year. And I will turn it over. I've got some excellent House colleagues here. The Senate does, we do what we can, but we can't do it without the House. So I have a couple of my House colleagues here. I'm going to turn it over now to Representative Kate Fry.
Good afternoon, friends. Is healthcare a human right?
Yes!
Is healthcare a human right?
Yes!
I stand here with you this afternoon because healthcare is a human right. I stand here with my Senate colleagues, with my House colleague, Representative Delaney, because we know that the work that we've done together, we are not done. As a proud legislator representing West Hartford and Newington, I couldn't be more proud that over the last few years, we have taken these important steps with one another to say not only that healthcare is a human right, but that this is the most fiscally sensible thing we can do to prevent long-term healthcare costs for our state. And I would say, when I think back about working on this campaign together over the last few years, Not only have we made progress, but who are we if we haven't learned through a pandemic the essential role of healthcare, not just for us as individuals, but for our entire community? And so as I think about where we go from here, it is ensuring that each of us talk to our friends, our colleagues, our family members to make sure they know how important this legislation is. Because every single one of us has family, friend, neighbors who are suffering without health care now due to our state's inaction. And it takes all of us raising our voice, you all standing strong with us to continue to make the case together that healthcare doesn't end for anyone at the age of 12. And when we think about our economy thriving, we can't possibly imagine families going to work or supporting their children without the basic access to health care. So if you're with me, how are we going to make this happen? We're going to make this happen because over the next few days, we're going to stand strong as legislative allies. We're going to keep up our voices that you are using to say loud and clear that what healthcare is a human right. Am I right? Yeah. Healthcare is a human right. And I'm so honored that Representative Delaney is going to come up and share his perspective because he has really stepped forward this year on this campaign and this effort, and I'm so proud to have him as a fellow champion in the House of Representatives. Representative Delaney.
Thank you, Representative, and thank you all for being here. Good afternoon.
Hello.
First, I want to take a second to thank all the journalists, all the activists, all my legislative partners who are here today and who have been involved in this fight since well before I got here. There's a few things I want to talk about. Firstly, there is an untrue perception in our country that there are documented immigrants or documented members of our community, and then there's everyone else. And that somehow our undocumented community are a different set of people that deserve a separate set of rights. And this is untrue. And in support of Husky, there are two things I want to point out. Firstly, our undocumented population is already paying for this benefit. Our undocumented population brought in over $187 million in state and local taxes last year. A lot of it already goes to pay this program. Secondly, allowing this policy will save our state and save our government money on the uncompensated care costs that we already pay. Our undocumented immigrants are our families. They're the essential members of our community. They are our taxpayers. And this policy is progressive, it is practical, and it's what we aim to accomplish. So thank you all for being here. Si se puede? Si se puede. Si se puede? Si se puede. Si se puede. Si se puede. Thank you.
Thank you. The legislators were freedom fighters who taught us how to fight. So we gon' fight all day and night until we get it right. What side are you on, my people? What side are you on? What side are you on, my people? What side are you on? And again, legislators are freedom fighters.
Taught me how to fight.
So we gon' fight all day and night until we get it right. What side are you on, my people? What side are you on?
The freedom.
What side are you on, my people?
What side are you on? The freedom side.
Next, we're going to have a member, and Shani's going to present them. So give it up for our members. So some of them is their first time speaking, first time leading chance. So Shani's going to introduce them for us.
We have Turkey from Denver. Let's give it up for him. You repeat with me, people? Legislators, don't be funny. We all know there's money.
Legislators, don't be funny. We don't know there's money.
Legislators, don't be funny. We don't know there's money.
Legislators, don't be funny. We all know there's money. Don't be funny. There's money. Don't be funny. There's money. Woo! So yeah, thank you legislators for sharing. And it's like there's like a lot of points that they hit, right? And I also want to like share, right? So all the high schoolers, right? All the speakers today from C4D, right? They don't have DACA, right? I just wanted to point that out. Like the students now, they don't qualify for DACA, right? And of course we know that DACA is dead, right? There's no one else can apply, right? So also like this is why we're passing it, right? Because these new students they don't qualify for that, right? And also we know that. Oh my God, sorry. Yeah, so we know that also like it's a human right, but also I know there's this narrative that's like, oh, it's for the children, but that siempre like dicen que, oh, es para los niños, ¿verdad? But like no, right? Because our parents get sick, right? After you're a kid, but you don't stop getting sick, right?
Right.
So that's another thing, right? There's this narrative that like it's just for the kids, right? But we want to step away from that, right? Because we do want to keep fighting for it to be expanding. So yeah, so. Next,
Next we have Rafaelina from Damari who will share her story. So, woo!
Hello everyone, my name is Rafaelina Rosario. I am a youth leader with Connecticut Students for a Dream. Connecticut for a Dream is a statewide organization that works for the right of undocumented youth and our family. I've been involved in C4D to gain access to the college that way, and also to become a leader in the community and future develop in my leadership. I am from the Dominican Republic. I arrived in Denver, Connecticut a year ago. I am a Denver high school student, and this is my last year. I am the only person in my family who is undocumented. My father, my uncles, my cousins have access to health, but I am the only one who does not have access to health, which I have already gone through bad times in the summer. I experiences a stroke infection that has turned into an inflamed bag of fluid, and I had to be in bed for 2 weeks because I have fever and I couldn't walk. Since I was scared of having to pay the medical service, I contacted my mother, who put me in contact with my doctors in the Dominican Republic, and they diagnosed based on my symptoms. They were able to give me antibiotics and I was able to relieve the pain. I feel frustrated since I don't have health insurance, so I can access basic dental, medical service, etc. One of my biggest fears is developing health problems, as it's wrong in my family. I am scared of not having access to proper treatment and having a cardiac arrest for fear of a large cost of not having insurance. I am 17 years old, but in 3 months I will be 18 years old. I still needed to go to the doctor when I finished high school. Our health needs to not end at the age of 18. We need access to the healthcare through our life. In the month that our Connecticut State Legislature invests in the health and future of our state by funding an expansion of HUSKY medical aid to all eligible immigrants under the age of 26. We need the HUSKY expansion to be included in the budget. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Rafaelina was a freedom fighter who taught us how to fight. So we gon' fight all day and night until we get it right. What side are you on, my people? What side are you on? What side are you on, my people? What side are you on? Okay, so I don't know if you have the sheet. So we have the 2 sheets going around. I think think y'all should have one. So it's the top one. The chant looks like this, the sheet looks like this. So tenemos una página donde tenemos gráficos y se ve así si nos quieren acompañar. So está el primero, ese es el que estamos diciendo cada vez que alguien habla. So yeah, so we have a chant sheet going around. If you want one, there's one over there. It's mega, you have pizza mega over there. We have these, and whenever someone speaks, right, we have, it's the first chant. Thank you, Rafaelina, thank you. Thank you for sharing your story, because also, like, at least for the students that I've been meeting, like, it's like a lot of that, right? It's just like, man, like, my parents have access, but I don't, right? And it feels bad, right? To not have it, right? So thank you, Rafaelina, for sharing your story.
Our next speaker is Cooper Carway. He is an executive director at SEI, Connecticut State Council.
Thank you, thank you. First, make some noise for the brilliant students and organizers and workers who put this whole thing together and have been running this campaign from day one. I want to say that on behalf of the SEIU, Connecticut State Council, and our 60,000 union members across the state, we are with you in your struggle until the end. Now look. The unions are used to debate. And we're used to negotiation. We debate and we negotiate every single day about wages, benefits, things like this. But what is not acceptable are the people in the building behind us forcing our community into a debate about human rights that should not be up for debate. That's right. What is not acceptable is approaching our communities with negotiation, asking us to negotiate away our basic human rights, asking us to choose, does the dialysis machine get unplugged when they're 19 or when they're 27? At what age does the person get thrown out of their hospital bed? That is unacceptable behavior from a government that's supposed to represent all the people. Now, most of the unions in this country were founded by immigrants. Were founded by immigrants. And so, a lot of folks in the building behind me, especially around campaign time, they like to go on TV, they like to get in front of you, they like to go door to door, and they like to talk about how pro-union they are, about how workers' rights are so important to them. Well, I'm here to say on behalf of SEIU that you cannot be pro-union and anti-immigrant. You can't be pro-labor. Now, our unions were built from a simple creed. An injury to one is an injury to all. Now, our unions, all of our unions started off as illegal organizations. It was illegal to form a union. And so most of the time we would have union meetings. The police would come knock down the doors of our union halls. They would beat us up. They would take our union leaders away. And oftentimes they would execute them or throw them in prison. Sometimes they would execute them right in front of their families. But I'm here to tell you that those workers saw through that period. They looked through eyes that were covered in blood. They fought against the Army, the National Guard, the hired goons of the bosses. They resisted because they kept that one creed, an injury to one as an injury to all. And so we continue that fight. But we cannot stop at 18. We cannot stop at 26. We cannot stop fighting until every single human being has that basic right that is health care. And SEIU will be there until the very end of that fight. Hasta la victoria siempre. Thank you.
Cooper was a freedom fighter who taught us how to fight. So we gon' fight all day and night until we get it right. What side are you on, my people? What side are you on? What side are you on, my people? What side are you on?
Alright, we're gonna do the same chant from before,
parte de la lucha. So the music is part of the struggle. Sin la música no hay lucha. Sin lucha no hay música. Y pues nosotros venimos a representar, estamos aprendiendo a tocar el son jarocho, que es una tradición en México, en la parte de Veracruz, Oaxaca, la Costa Chica de Guerrero. Y este particular género usamos guitarras de diferentes tamaños que se llaman jaranas. Y es un tipo de guitarra, pero es más bien una percusión. Con las jaranas nosotros hacemos percusión y el son se compone también de versos. Entonces, la versada que nosotros vamos a ofrecerles es para HUSKY, es para esta lucha que nosotros estamos firmes con HUSKY. Y la salud es un derecho universal, por eso es que estamos aquí. Parte del son también, cuando nosotros cantamos son, siempre hay una tarima en donde se zapatea, ¿no? En donde el zapateo forma parte también de la percusión y forma parte de la música del son. So this type of guitars are called jaranas, and it's a type of percussion. Even though it has strings, it's a type of percussion. And in the son jarocho, we use verses, and we adapted some words to be in the struggle, for the verses to be part of HUSKY for all the campaign that we are doing now. And also in the son jarocho, in the tradition, we have what is called a tarima, where we also tap on the tarima, and it's a part of the percussion in the fandango. So I hope you enjoy. So vamos a cantar el Agualulco.
Porque el gobierno nos falla. Yo me preguntaba anoche. que le meten jiribilla. Se dispara la diabetes. Yo me voy a retirar, pues me siento muy enfermo. Y me voy a organizar, porque HUSKY yo no tengo. Que la cante, que la baile, que lo bailen, los compitas que le luchan con empeño. Legislador, sea sincero, todos saben que hay dinero. 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 Legislator, don't be funny, we all know there is money. Legislator, don't be funny. Legislator, don't be funny. We all know there is money. Eso es todo, banda. Pues muchas gracias, gente, y nomás quería extender la invitación. El colectivo Semilla estamos haciendo un domingo, un fandango dominical cada domingo a las 11 de la mañana en el Teatro Bregamos en New Haven. Son bienvenidos a unirse. So I would just, before we leave, people, I would like to thank you all for the space, and I would like to extend the invitation. The Semilla Collective is hosting a fandango party every Sunday at 11 at the Bregamos Theater. Every Sunday, you're all welcome to join. Thank you, thank you.
Legislators, right? So our next speaker is Leslie, who is the president of the New Haven Federation of Teachers.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here. It is powerful to see so many people here today as we continue to unite and fight for healthcare access for undocumented immigrants in Connecticut. My name is Leslie Blatchall. I'm a longtime social studies teacher in New Haven Public Schools. I'm a parent of a second grader at Hill Central School in New Haven. I'm also the president of the New Haven Federation of Teachers, an at-large vice president for AFT Connecticut, and a member of Recovery for All, a statewide coalition of organizations who are fighting for a better future for everyone in Connecticut. Before I begin my remarks, I want to celebrate the students and the young people who organized this action. You are incredible, and we have so much to learn from you. You bring renewed hope to our efforts to build a multiracial, working-class coalition in Connecticut that values people, not profit, and that values well-being, not wealth. Thank you, young people, for your leadership. So why am I here today? I am here to join this youth-led action as we call on elected officials and the governor to expand access to the HUSKY program for undocumented people in Connecticut up to age 26 and beyond. We have already heard it stated several times today, but let me say it again. Access to healthcare is a human right. And in a state as wealthy as Connecticut, at a time in our state's history when the state surplus and the rainy day fund are both overflowing, why would we deny young people and their families access to health care? Before I was elected union president, I taught an international issues course for 12th graders where we studied the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. It didn't take long for the students in my class to identify concrete examples of violations of the document. And we didn't have to look halfway around the world to define the violations. No, the violations are happening right here in our own state. Article 25 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Everyone has the right to a standard of living adequate for the health and well-being of themselves and their family, including food, clothing, housing, and medical care. Let's say it again. Food, clothing, housing, and medical care. We can do this, and we must do this. This is not just an healthcare issue. This is an educational justice issue. As a union leader who represents professionals who work with our youth, we understand how access to healthcare impacts education. Social, emotional, and academic well-being in school depends on stability. And stability depends on the reassurance, especially during public health crises, that when someone needs medical care, they can access it without fear, regardless of immigration status. As educators, we've been working to re-engage with families and students and restore that sense of stability in our classrooms and schools. Members of New Haven Federation of Teachers, our counselors, our social workers, we are proud to support students and families, to address attendance issues, to improve student outcomes. We are creative, compassionate, and determined to meet our students' needs. But given the obstacles and added stressors that families face when they don't have access to health care, we need our legislators' help. We need legislators to prioritize providing access to health care for all Connecticut residents, regardless of their age, regardless of their immigration status. 58% of roughly 113,000 undocumented immigrants in Connecticut do not have any form of health care coverage. This does not only affect the community members who lack health insurance, it affects all of us. Public health depends on increasing access to health care, not limiting access. And as public